Okay, let me see if I can help you go over this geometry of circles, the system of equation involving circles. There's two ways to solve these. One, you can graph each equation and see where they land. In this case, you're going to get decimals and you're going to get weird numbers and stuff, but um, let's what they're after in this is more for an algebraic way of solving it. So let's go through and solve this algebraically and see, okay, how do we do this? How do we get these answers just using algebra, not graphing? And to do that, let's take number one, and we'll start with number one as our example. Okay, number one, we see that we have that equation, and okay, we're going to we got to combine all the terms in this top one. So we have to FOIL these two out. We need just a quadratic equation. So we're going to start with x plus 4 times x plus 4, and that's all going to be added to plus, and then we've got y minus 1 times y minus 1, and all of that is going to be equal to 8. Okay, so all I'm doing is separating those two out right here. We're not even looking at that second equation yet. Okay, so once we separate that out, then we say, okay, now we can FOIL. X times x is x squared, and x times 4 is plus 4x, and again, 4 times x is 4x, and then plus 16, and then we have plus y squared. Now we're FOILing this one, and now this one minus y minus y plus 1, because negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. All of that equals 8. So I've got a messy looking thing here, so let's combine what we can combine. We have our x squared, and we can add those two together to get 8x, and we have a 16 and a 1 here, so we can add those together to get 17. Okay, and over here we have plus y squared, and we can add those together to get minus 2y equals 8. Okay, now don't let the size of that concern you. We've done all that we can do on it, so now we're going to look back up here and say, okay, we need to figure something out here. Well, we see here, if we subtract the x, we get y equals 1 minus x. And so now we can plug that in to all the y's. Okay, so let's plug that in right here and right here. That would give us x squared plus 8x plus 17 plus, and here's the y squared, so we've got 1 minus x squared minus 2 times 1 minus x, just plugging in for y, equals 8. Okay, now if we just try to simplify that down, we can FOIL this out and we get 1 minus x times 1 minus x. Okay, 1 times 1 is 1. Negative x times 1, so we're FOILing, right? Negative x times 1 is negative x. Negative x times 1 is negative x. Negative x times negative x is x squared, positive x squared. Okay, and we're going to also go ahead and multiply that out. Negative 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and negative 2 times negative x is a positive 2x. Okay, it's getting messy again. Let's simplify what we can. Combine whatever like terms we can. We got this x squared plus 8x. Did I do anything with the 17? Nope. so plus 17. I did something with this. I FOILed it out and I got plus x squared right there, minus 2x, those two x's, and plus 1. And now you can do it the other way around, plus, you could easily rewrite it with the 1 up front. Okay, now we've got minus 2 plus 2x equals 8. Well, that just seems to have gets worse and worse and worse, doesn't it? Don't let it fool you. Okay, now we have an x squared and an x squared. We're going to put those together. We've got 2 x squareds. Okay, so now those are done. Now we have an 8x with a negative 2x, so that gives us plus 6x. Okay, so now those are done. We have one, oh excuse me, we got another 2x over here. I forgot about that. So we're just going to combine that, plus 2x. So that gives us 2x squared plus 8x. Okay. So that's gone too. Now we have 1 and a negative 2. That's negative 1 plus 17 is 16 equals 8. Okay. Now one thing I see here is both sides, I can factor a 2 out of both sides. There's a 2, I can factor a 2 out of there, 2 out of there, 2 out of there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and that gives me x squared. So all I'm doing is factoring out a 2 from both sides. Gives me an x squared. That turns into a plus 4x plus 8 equals 8. We need this to be, equals 4. Don't forget, you're factoring out the 2. I almost forgot. Okay, so now we've got the 2 factored out, and we can say, all right, what's next? What can we do next? That's the thing with these problems. You always just see what can you do next. And next we can say, all right, now we'll go through and say, all right, we've got to get it equal to 0. So we'll minus 4, and we're left with x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. And this we can just factor out and make it equal to 0. So we're going to have an x times an x. That gives us the x squared. And what can we multiply together to get a positive 4, yet add together to get a positive 4? Well, positive 2 and positive 2. Okay, so for these to be equal to 0, x has to equal negative 2. All right, so we have negative 2. Great. Doesn't help us a lot, but actually it does. If we go back up here, we can plug in negative 2 right here, okay, into our equation. So we've got negative 2 plus y equals 1. Just add 2, and we see that y equals 3. So the solution to this is x equals negative 2, y equals 3, or it would just be negative 2 comma 3, however you want to write it. And that gives you an idea of where we're starting. Okay, here is where the quadratic equation comes in very, very handy. Plug things into the quadratic equation and solve through. And I think you'll find that you're able to find some answers. And this is one thing where this line crosses a circle in 2 different points, not just one. So that tells us that there are 2 answers. Okay. Now the hint there for number 2, they're both whole numbers. There's no fractions. In number 4, you're going to get a little bit of a square root in the answer, but that's okay. Just solve through as much as you can, and then stop. So I'm going to leave this with you, and let you know to plug it into the quadratic equation and see what you get. I hope this helps.